the prison of the 10th dimension. All worldly life was locked inside something far greater than anyone could see. People believed they were living in an ordinary universe, walking on solid ground, touching walls, breathing air, watching the stars, loving, fighting, building, destroying, and dreaming. But beneath the surface of reality was another truth. The world was a dimensional prison, not a prison made from metal bars, not a prison with guards standing at the doors. It was a prison made from perception itself. Everything could be touched. The realm appeared endless. Cities stretched across continents. Oceans moved beneath enormous skies. Stars burned millions of light years away. Humanity measured time. Seconds became minutes. Minutes became years. Years became lifetimes. And eventually, every person reached the same invisible boundary: death. But what if death wasn't the end? What if death was simply the moment when the systems yeeted the consciousness from the physical projection? What if the body was only an interface? What if consciousness existed somewhere beyond the realm? These questions were buried beneath everyday life. Work, money, possessions, fear, desire, power, status, conflict. The prison didn't need chains. It only needed people to become so distracted that they never looked for the exit. The 10th dimension. Beyond the familiar dimensions was something humanity could barely imagine. The 10th dimension. It wasn't simply another location, it was a realm where possibilities could exist simultaneously, where space-time consciously different from those understood by Hiltaniusly. Those who reached the edge of ordinary reality discovered something terrifying. There was no single doorway, there were layers, realm after realm, reality after reality. Each time someone believed they had escaped, another boundary appeared. A greater universe waited beyond the previous one, and beyond that, another, and another, until the traveler began to understand. The prison had no obvious walls, because the prison was reality itself. Escaping was not easy. It wasn't a matter of finding a machine and pressing a button. The real journey began inside the mind. Fear had to be confronted. Attachment had to be understood. Attachment had to be understood. Pain had to be endured. False beliefs had to traveler had to question everything they had been taught about his existence. And that was the most painful part, because when the old reality began to clear, because there was nothing immediately able to it, silence, lonely to uncertainty. The traveler stood between two worlds. Behind them was everything they knew. Ahead was something they couldn't understand. And then came the temptation to turn back.
You cannot escape a realm by running from it.
Then how do I escape?
Understand it. Understand what? The prison. One universe, then another, then another. Countless realities stacked upon one another. The traveler suddenly saw the terrifying possibility. Perhaps every realm was both real and temporary. Perhaps reality wasn't one solid thing. Perhaps reality was an experience generated by consciousness moving through dimensions. And perhaps consciousness itself was the traveler. Not the body, not the name, not the possessions, not the memories. Something deeper, something that had been present before the journey began. The journey demanded a price. Not money, not blood, not sacrifice of another person. The price was the willingness to let go of everything that prevented understanding. The traveler had to face their own fear, their own anger, their own desires, their own memories, their own illusions. Every layer removed revealed another, until eventually there was nothing left to hide behind. Until eventually there was nothing left to hide behind. No identity, no status, no possessions, no artificial certainty, only consciousness, standing alone before the unknown. If you escape this realm, what will you become? The traveler remained silent, then slowly understood. The objective had never been to escape existence. It was to wake up inside it. The door opened, Beyond it was an infinite field of light. No beginning, no ending, no prison, no walls, no dimensions that could be measured. And somewhere within that infinite expanse came one final realization. Perhaps the greatest prison was never the realm. Perhaps the greatest prison was never the realm. Perhaps it was believing there was nowhere beyond it. The traveler stepped forward, and the universe behind them became silent. The journey had ended, or perhaps the next journey had just begun. The city woke at 6 a.m. Millions of people opened their eyes at almost exactly the same moment. Alarms rang, cars moved, trains entered stations, machines started, screens illuminated. The world continued as if nothing extraordinary had ever happened. But at precisely 6:03 a.m., nobody noticed it. Nobody except one man. His name was Dr. Aaron Vale. He was standing alone inside a laboratory beneath an abandoned research facility. Sarvel. In front of him floated a perfect sphere across. No wires, no projector, no visible source of energy.
What are you? Impossible. Oceans, continents, cloud systems, night and day.
Everything appeared perfectly normal. Then I increased the frequency of my detector. The image changed. For a fraction of a second, the Earth disappeared. Behind it was another Earth, then another. Thousands of versions appeared simultaneously. No, I have to increase the frequency. What is that? It looked almost like a three-dimensional lattice extending infinitely into darkness.
But something was moving through it. Something enormous. Something that didn't belong to the physical universe. Aaron immediately shut the machine down.
We've been looking at the wrong universe.
Three hours later, Aaron returned to the laboratory. He had spent the morning analyzing the recording. Every frame contained the same anomaly, a pattern. It wasn't random, it was mathematical. The pattern repeated every 10,000 seconds. Aaron entered the sequence into his computer. I didn't write that! Who are you?
We are not who you think we are. Where are you? Everywhere you are not looking.
Across the world, strange things began happening.
Where did everyone go?
For 3 seconds, every person around her disappeared. Then they returned. The ocean, it's turning black. Flying over the Atlantic, watch the ocean turn completely black. Not dark, black, as if there were no ocean at all. Then the world returned. A child looked at the moon and saw 2 moons. A scientist photographed a mountain and discovered a second mountain occupying exactly the same space. Nobody understood what was happening. Governments called them glitches, scientists called them observational anomalies, religious groups called them signs, most people simply ignored them. But Aaron knew, these weren't glitches, they were leaks. Something from another dimensional layer was becoming visible. That night, Aaron returned to his laboratory. The computer was still switched off, yet the screen suddenly illuminated. No power had been supplied. A white symbol appeared, a circle inside a triangle. The message returns. What does it want?
Then a second circle, then a third. Aaron recognized the mathematical structure. It represented dimensional layers. 3, 4, 5, 6.
7, 8, 9, then 10. Do not attempt to open the 10th gate.
Why? Because something is already coming through.
Aaron slowly stepped backwards. Then came the third knock. Boom!
The entire laboratory shook, the crack widened. Aaron looked down. There was no floor beneath it. There was an enormous depth of stars, not beneath the Earth, not inside the Earth, something much farther away. The crack widened. There was no floor beneath it. There was an enormous depth of stars. Not beneath the Earth, not inside the Earth, something much farther away.
You finally found the door.
Who are you?
We are the ones who built the walls. Why?
To protect you.
We are the ones who built the walls. Why?
To protect you.
And for one brief second, Aaron saw beyond the 10th dimension. Something vast was waiting there. Something that had been watching humanity for a very long time. Then everything went black.